Hello, and welcome back to episode 3 of Vampyr. We are back in the hospital in Pembroke, and we are about to meet some interesting characters, I'm pretty sure. And we're gonna start with Unknown. She looks scary, though.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon.
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
Okay. I mean, you know what? I would call her a loony, but I'm actually a vampire, so
And why
who
do you
knows?
believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of postulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
Yeah, that's a good
I
question.
see. Have you ever heard of Cotard syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul, or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
Okay.
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
You lost me there. You lost me there.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
Okay.
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a vampire.
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here. I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
Jesus. All right. Wait. Sorry, did we just ask
Who
this?
are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
It was such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
I'm sure they do, yeah. I'm sure they do.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
I quite liked her, you know. Did we just get a hint, or did we get another bit of investigation? Why are them two in like a social circle, Thomas? Why are they two associated? Cotard syndrome. The blood quality of the citizens is largely influenced by the health and the number of hints he gathered before embracing him or her. I don't want to embrace anybody, really. Like, this... You know, of course he's thirsty, but there's actually people who want to kill us that we can kill. The other way around, it's just kind of mean. Do you two talk?
I wonder why the Coswicks came here in the first place?
You are going to reveal all your secrets to me. Even the darkest thoughts in your heart.
My blood and soul, they belong to you now.
The life running in your veins. This dead flesh needs it.
Oh,
A
please
giant
spare
morgue
me, Dark
disguised as a
Queen.
hospital.
Spare
Not for
your
Pembroke
obedient
nowadays.
slave.
Should have for a second. I'm watching this. What the? what kinky shit have they got going on?
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor. I don't think we've been introduced yet. My name is Pippa Hawkins.
And I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Dr. Swansea has recently offered me a position in this hospital.
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated, Doctor.
How would you describe the situation at the Pembroke Hospital?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. We are running out of everything.
Get a grip. Oh.
Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse? What if in the end, nobody was spared?
You must get a hold of yourself, nurse.
Sorry, I'm exhausted. No one has any idea when this epidemic will be over.
How long have you been a nurse?
Well, long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll change that.
You'd be surprised what dedication can achieve, Nurse Hawkins. In medicine, sometimes we're just a test result away from a miracle.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
How is the Pembroke staff coping with the epidemic?
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual, especially concerning doctors.
Nah, don't talk about him like you don't know him. We know you do.
Why does Milton dislike doctors?
I don't know. Just ask him. But be warned, Milton is not the chatty type.
Why is Milton grumpy on a daily basis? Is it just an act?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation, whether he deserved it or not.
Oh. Cool. Good to know.
Pippa, I know you're very close to Milton Hooks.
Yes, Milton Hooks is my man. If you want to report me for that, just feel free, Doctor.
I have no intention of reporting you, Nurse Hawkins, but are you aware of the risks?
The rules say I won't be allowed to work as a nurse anymore. But here at the Pembroke, we break rules all the time.
Is he worth the risk?
Hey, I'm no perfect woman, and Milton is not the finest bloke, but we do our best to get by. That's all any of us can hope for nowadays.
We got quite some hints
Goodbye,
to find.
Nurse Hawkins.
Fear and disgust on every street corner. The daily
And who are you, sir?
Good evening, Mr.
Oh.
Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reed, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A
Okay.
little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
Return. I do love the Irish accent a bit.
Do you know Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
Cool.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
Thelma Hawcroft, yeah. She is something.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reed. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the Dockers Trade Union. The Wet Boot Boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Oh. The Wet Boot Boys. What a name.
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
Wait, Clay Cox? How is this not a hint?
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
The Sad Saint of the East End. That is one of the coolest names ever.
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke? Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks, and I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Yeah, he looked like a priest, but is he?
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
He's a genuinely nice guy.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
Yeah, he doesn't know, does he? And I don't want to tell him about us.
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest. And then I can go back to the people who need me.
Nice dude.
Goodbye,
Nice
Mr.
dude.
Hampton. We'll talk again later.
100% one of my favorite characters so far. He's just nice. Doesn't push his religion on you or anything. He's just trying to do good things. We like that. Dorothy Crane. Does she have anything
What
new?
can I do for you, Doctor?
You can be more polite in the first place. That'd be nice.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Nurse Crane.
I think we've done everything here. Hello there, mate.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. May I help you?
I don't know if a third opinion is needed. Your colleagues are already arguing about my condition.
I see. Would you mind telling me more about your situation?
I'm Harvey Fiddick. All I want is to get me bloody arm fixed properly.
Tell me about the doctors who are arguing about your case.
Strickland and Aykroyd. They both want the best for me, but there's a lot of pride there. Doctors are no different from carpenters, it seems.
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals on a building site. Difference is, I disagreed about wooden nails, not flesh and bones.
That is true. Actually, you know what? In this case, we can do medical checkup. Let's see.
Is there anything else that's bothering you? Can I help in any way?
I'm all right. Considering the state of this place, I should consider myself lucky, I guess.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Fiddick.
I'm just a regular guy waiting to get his arm fixed, so I can return to work and to my family.
I was more curious about what you were doing before being hospitalized.
I'm a carpenter, and a good one too. But that means I need both arms to feed my family, Dr. Reed.
He's not wrong.
Are you satisfied with your treatment here?
Well, it's clear that I've chosen a bad time to be injured. Forgive my bluntness, but you seem overwhelmed by cases of the flu.
I won't lie to you about it. I'm afraid we are.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reed? I have the feeling you're very capable, and your colleagues seem to think so too.
In other circumstances, you would be right. But for now, I don't think I can take on the responsibility. My apologies.
That'd be so cool if we actually had to operate on people. All sorts
Goodbye
of
for now,
intrigued by
Mr.
it still.
Fiddick. I'll see you later.
We know nothing about this man.
Calm the children, Helen. As for me, what a blundering idiot.
Last vials. Useless.
Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reed. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune. Such an honor, sir.
Wow.
Thank you. And you are?
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer of your work, Dr. Reed.
What can you tell me about the Pembroke?
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea. But with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood transfusion.
Why are they all so... I don't know how far blood transfusion was back in the day, but it seems like I'm a magician.
Do you need help with anything in particular?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research, yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time. You seem quite optimistic. It's a rare and precious attitude in these difficult times.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our capacity to resolve the situation.
True, true. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work. We're not smiling now.
No, I bet you're not.
Please, could you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reed. I run my own experiments. I'm convinced it's the future.
Wow.
I based my technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect my method. What is yours?
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me, but I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages of this epidemic.
That is correct. And we don't have any knowledge, unfortunately.
What made you choose to be a doctor?
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have inspired me. I am honored to have the opportunity to work by your side.
Flattery is useless. Damn. Don't be like that.
It's always a pleasure to share scientific and medical knowledge with someone eager to learn. I'll be glad to help you if I can.
This epidemic may be the century's most terrible disaster, but I'm convinced that we, as doctors, are the only ones able to defeat it.
Oh, okay, go on.
Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood transfusion technique could help him.
What is it you really want? To save him, or to prove your point?
Fair question. I want nothing but to save my patient, Dr. Reed. Especially since I know Mr. Fiddick's story.
Tell me the
Tell
story.
me Mr. Fiddick's story.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin of his injury.
Oh no.
He first claimed it was an accident.
But why would he hide such crucial information from us?
Because he is a proud father, ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own negligence.
What happened?
This personal involvement could also appear to be a lack of impartiality. You must know that a good surgeon must remain neutral.
I agree. But that does not excuse Dr. Ackroyd's behavior, a man who did not even take time to converse with his patient.
Do you think keeping his distance was a mistake?
All I know is that I'm taking care of human beings with desires, hopes, and fears. Not some biological machine comprised of blood, bones, and flesh.
Ah, so the other doctor is more like distance. He's basically Dr. House. And this guy here would probably be John Dorian. Cool. That's good. Do we know more now?
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
I don't know how it is for you guys watching the Let's Play, but I personally, I do quite enjoy, you know, walking around. And they didn't make it too boring either with the conversations. I actually am enjoying this.
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any news about my operation?
Tell me about your injury, Harvey. Why do you feel so guilty about it?
My wife died because of me.
Oh.
And now I may lose everything because I've been careless enough to hurt myself. What an arsehole.
Oh no.
How could your job be responsible for your wife's death?
I was working a double. She went out to bring me a hot meal and got caught in a German bomb raid.
Oh fuck. Fucking Germans.
You can't hold yourself responsible for your injury, Mr. Fiddick. Unless you tried to hurt yourself.
Of course I didn't hurt myself. But I can't work until my arm is fixed. My children need to eat, Doctor.
Tell me more about the death of your wife, Harvey.
1915. I was in the army. Building workshops for the Royal Flying Corps. Helen was happy I wasn't sent to the front.
What happened?
The Germans sent Zeppelins to bomb the construction site, but they missed their target. My wife was bringing my dinner when the bombs fell.
How are your children after losing their mother?
They were smaller then. The only good thing about this is my Helen didn't bring them with her that night.
Yeah, that is, you know what? As far as seeing it in a positive way, that is positive.
I'm sorry for your loss. So many died during the bombings. I served in France and witnessed the carnage there.
I would like to say that she didn't suffer. Truth is, I have no idea. I just know that I'm all that me kids have. Poor little bleeders.
Poor little bleeders. Oh man, I feel for this guy. That's rough.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
I will not let you down, my boy.
Sure you won't, mate. Yeah, also that's a good question. Didn't we get Southwark? Didn't we get a God damn it. A task from the doctor, like looking at a shop or something? I'm pretty sure we've been told to find find something. But I also can't see, like, the quests anywhere. Ah, that's cool though. Who's this? Oh yeah, yeah, we gotta find next person we gotta find who I wanna find is, I think that's him. The other doctor.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I believe we're going to be colleagues.
Reed, yes, I've been informed about your arrival. I'm Waverly Ackroyd. Welcome aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr. Ackroyd?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swansey's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
Yikes. Great start. Yeah.
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Ackroyd, please feel free to tell me.
Dr. Swansey has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. The benefit of his position. But I don't agree with it.
I know we've never met before, but I believe this hospital could use all the help it can get. You will agree with that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reed. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
Yeah, you know what? We're gonna actually tell him off here.
You are going to change your tone with me, my dear colleague, and very quickly.
I don't think so. Perhaps you think yourself protected by Dr. Swansey, but I am still a free man, and I will speak to you the way I want.
Okay.
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine, perhaps you can tell me more about this place.
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around me. I have always respected the skills of Dr. Swansey, but over time his enthusiasm has become displaced.
Carelessness? Exactly what are you talking about?
We're here to save lives. The people who trust us are not volunteering for experimentation. They're here to be healed.
I don't intend to run any radical experiments, Doctor. Even if I, as any good practitioner should, express an interest in pushing the boundaries of medical research.
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work, and they're here to protect our patients.
He's not wrong. In some ways, he's correct, but being correct and being a dick shouldn't really always go hand in hand, but, well.
Tell me, Waverly, what do you think of Dr. Strickland's enthusiasm for his experimental research?
Strickland is playing with his patients' lives for pride and glory. Now that, sir, is unethical.
Are you thinking about something in particular?
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery. I believe we should stick to the usual procedure, but my young colleague obviously disagrees.
Why do you wish to lead this surgery?
I strongly believe that Mr. Fiddick should not be butchered to test an unproven procedure.
Right. Thinking about this, and, you know, I'm gonna take emotions and put emotions aside there. If he says there's a simple procedure, well, simple, obviously delicate, but a proven procedure that can fix his arm, fine. We're not going to push medical boundaries in this case because simply he has to take care of his kids.
I really hope you're right about this, Dr. Ackroyd. I'm trusting your judgment on this.
I'm not the kind of man who runs away from his responsibilities, Dr. Reed. There is no need for you to be looking over my shoulder.
And are you not afraid that your rivalry with Strickland may be blinding you?
Rivalry? I guess you could call it that. But I will never be childish enough to let my personal feelings affect my judgment.
As much as I don't like his attitude, I think he's a good doctor.
I don't know what you've heard about me, but I have already proved my value as a practitioner.
I don't question your skills, Dr. Reed, but your motive. Is it money, fame, or are you truly dedicated?
And what exactly is that supposed to mean?
I served in the war just like you. But unlike you, I did not use the wounded to play the modern sorcerer.
Be careful what you insinuate, Dr. Ackroyd.
I only want you to admit you used those men to improve your theories.
Knowledge has always been and will remain our main weapon, and it has always come at a price. And personal initiative.
It is not a question of initiative, it is a question of integrity. These men and women have put their faith in us, Dr. Reed.
It seems you have bad memories of your military service.
I refuse to see this industrial slaughter as scientific progress. War only reveals the worst in men.
We can at least agree on something, Dr. Ackroyd.
If we revealed anything during this conversation, I already
Thank you
forgot.
for your time. We'll talk later.
So many deaths. And what of my own life?
Oh, she's standing around outside. Wait. Oh wait, actually, we had a hint for Mr. Milton here, not caring about his reputation.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Right, no. Oh, oh yeah.
Why do you have such a mediocre reputation among your colleagues, Milton?
Fuck them. Nobody knows the horrors I've seen since working here. This city was sick long before the epidemic, Dr. Reed.
I know it's a difficult task, but correct me if I'm wrong. Is this not the job you are paid to do?
I've seen babies left to die while their brothers were properly fed. Underage girls and boys sold to all manner of perverts.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, exactly. We lack words. So excuse me if I don't look on the bright side of life.
It is, my friend.
Goodbye, Milton.
Oh. It's the door frame. That's the... I assume that's the old lady that one of the doctors thought was dead.
Don't waste your time with me.
This hospital seems to be falling apart. But in the circumstances, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. How can I help your son?
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick. Could you check on him, please, Dr. Reed? I've heard much of your talents as a physician.
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say. Just take care of my Mortimer and I'll cover all the expenses. That's all that matters.
Oh, wow.
Are you really that rich? Most of the patients here are of a more humble origin, if I may say so.
Yes, thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical expenses.
May I ask if you have an occupation, Mrs. Goswick?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their futures than their families.
Getting them away from
What do you
OnlyFans.
think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived. But we had no other choice, considering the state of emergency.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
Oh. Yeah, tell us.
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
Oh? I share your stupor. Isn't that a Harry Potter spell? Stupor. Pretty sure it is.
She charged you for a bed.
Yes, and I paid without question, considering the urgency of the situation.
This is not right.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk to the people involved.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other hospitals.
That is correct. That will be questioned. That's for sure.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
Right, let's talk to them and then we'll talk to Miss Hawkins.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I help at all?
No.
Really? Why are you here then?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone taking care of you?
Yes. And no.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer. Mortimer Goswick.
What was his fucking name? Why did we make him say his name?
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Goswick.
I don't want to talk, Doctor.
I said and then asked him another question.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'm sure you realize a doctor and his patient have to communicate, sir. Would it help if I gave you some paper and a pen?
Not really.
I see.
Not really.
Then maybe it's not just your throat that hurts, Mr. Goswick. Perhaps your sore throat is just the consequence of something more hurtful.
Yes, maybe. But I don't want to talk or even write about it now.
Is he depressed or something? Definitely fatigue.
Why did your mother have you hospitalized here? She seems convinced this is a bad hospital.
My mother just wants the best for me. She won't rest while I'm here. She'd go all the way to hell and back to help me.
Is your mother bothering you? As your doctor, I can ask her to leave you alone if you would prefer.
That's tempting, Doctor. But you have no idea what my mother is capable of. She would tie herself to my bed if you asked her to leave.
Wow.
Pembroke Hospital may look unorthodox, but rest assured you're in good hands here.
It's not me you have to convince, Dr. Reed. It's my mother.
Don't have to convince her.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
I will not let you down, my boy.
Miss Hawkins, I have got some unfortunate questions. Oh.
It's locked, all right.
Yeah, all right.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Wait.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Who was this in for? I am mildly confused here. So we can talk to her about it. But apparently there's loads of other stuff that we can talk to her about. Right. Currently. Oh. Wait, no. How do we get to this, man? What? Trap behind the door again? Who is this guy?
Thelma Howcroft said she was being watched by vampire hunters. Where are they hiding? I should investigate.
She did say that, but how... Is this the morgue, this building here? This one. We're gonna go there in a second.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Always a pleasure to meet a colleague, sir. Especially when he was supposedly dead. A colleague? Are you a doctor too? Not anymore, sir. I used to be Dr. Rakesh Chadana. Now, I'm just Mr. Chadana, pawnbroker and humble guardian of this morgue.
What do you mean? You used to be a doctor. Was your license revoked?
No, sir. It is just that I like to be precise. I run a little pawn shop while taking care of the dead. But I used to be a real doctor.
Okay.
Have we met before?
I don't think so, sir. Why?
When we first talked, you said you were glad to meet me since I was reported dead.
Funny story, sir. Your sister came here a few nights ago. You were missing, and she was looking for your body. She must be very relieved now.
Oh, she's relieved, alright.
Are you afraid or uneasy being surrounded by so many corpses?
Why should I? These bodies are empty vessels. Flesh left to decay. Poof. No soul anymore. All gone.
How did you get this job?
After I left the army, I worked as an undertaker down by the docks. A dangerous place with many an unpleasant business there. Milton Hooks helped me get a job here.
Milton?
An interesting point of view. And quite an exotic one, too. Most people fear, or at least have respect, for dead flesh.
Sir, as a medic during the war, I learned to face my death and the death of others. It's the pain we have to tame, not death itself.
Okay.
Do you work here alone?
Yes, very easy work, sir. All I have to do is watch a few bodies. The situation was very different when the main morgue was still open.
The main morgue?
Why close the hospital's main morgue?
It was for sanitary reasons after the beginning of the epidemic. Cadavers had to be moved to the nearest mass grave.
Why do you have to watch these bodies?
Because these poor fellows have no names. We keep them in case someone comes looking for the missing. Sadly, very rarely happens.
Since you're not afraid of dying, do you believe in life after death, Rakesh?
No. I believe we must do all the good we can while alive. For our time is short, and the obstacles are endless.
Do you think you would enjoy immortality as a concept?
I don't think so. Don't mistake me. I love life, and I'd like to live a long life. But everything has to decay, sir. Even goodwill.
Goodwill?
Do you really believe goodwill cannot last?
As I said, sir, everything decays. If I was to never die, goodness, I would be bored or worse. And I like to be helpful, sir.
Quite depressing, wouldn't you say?
Yes, but the good news is we'll all die before losing our humanity, sir.
So you're ready to die?
No, I'm not. I don't fear death, for I won't see it. What troubles me is the pain my death will inflict to those I know.
You're a wise man, Mr. Chidana.
No, Dr. Reed. I am a foolish man. But I like to think otherwise.
I like this guy. He's a bit of a mysterium, but he's funny.
Broker. I expect you get all types of people here.
Yes, sir. All kind of people. For I sell all kind of goods.
Who comes here to trade with you? It's very unhygienic, even unsafe.
Diseases can spread. For the customers, for the hospital.
I'm very cautious, sir. I've been a doctor, remember? And all my clients are good people. In fact, I think I only know good people.
What kind of goods?
With the quarantine, it's not always easy to buy things. So I trade, I exchange. Some people sell, some others buy. I like to help.
Wait, we've been here? We've been here?
Please show me what you have to sell.
Of course. It's just trinkets and curios, really. But I'm sure they can be useful.
Never heard the word curios. This formula written on a piece of paper seems complex and needs to be analyzed. Okay. Legal medications. Codeine. Easing pain and coughing. Let's do it. Can we sell? Samples and ingredients. Oh. You know what? I can actually... I don't need that. I don't really want to improve my weapons, as we're going to find better ones going onwards regardless, so that's of no use for me as of now. Melee weapon. Handle part. We're going to keep this, but yeah. Jeez.
I cannot enter.
Can't enter yet. I actually, I'm wondering if I were to kill this guy, if I would get a key to the morgue. And also, the main morgue. This is not the morgue. Pembroke Hospital, it says. Is this here a morgue? It's a bit big for a morgue, to be fair. It can't be. Surely. Although... Ooh, I missed this one. Of course, small bottles again. Right. Oh, no. We still have a few people to discover yet. Well, a few, I say. I think...
It's locked, all right.
I mean, yeah, but... Why is that room locked? I want to get to my patient, really. Ideally. Why has she locked herself in? Right, let's go upstairs to my office. She said up the stairs to the right. And then left? Clearly not. No, second floor, she said. Is this first and... Is this... No. I am a doctor of exceptional intelligence. I should be able to find my office.
Not now. Please come back later.
Okay. That's the one, I guess. And fact is, we've got quite a bit of oh, a hacksaw. 65 damage. Currently 65, but then go to 75. Probably not even worth it. But then again, we need something new. We need something a little bit better than what it currently is anyway. Oh.
It's locked.
Tippett, Strickland, and Ackroyd. So they all share an office. Oh god, and I get my own.
This must be the place.
Oh my.
It's definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin.
That's correct. 25 shillings and aluminium powder. Nice one. Although... Article on econs. Oh. I'm gonna let you guys read this because this is long. Up until limitations. Yeah, you press pause to read that if you wanna. And I'll go further down to mesmerism. Blood awareness. Yeah, this was just like a description of basically me, kind of. Don't know why they call us econs here in this one, but it is what it is. I would have sworn that there was
I cannot enter.
An article somewhere. I would have sworn there was an article somewhere about our friend downstairs. Thomas. Yes. Patient Thomas Elwood, male, age 28. Oh my god. Status convalescence. Convalescence. Date of admission September 16th. Date of release to be determined. The patient's face has been heavily burned and disfigured by a bomb during the war. Even with the use of the strongest sedatives, he affirms he regularly endures severe pain. He affirms to regularly endure severe pain from the wounds, as if the flames are still burning under the skin, he says. Examinations of the... Jesus Christ. Cicatrized tissues shows no trace of inflammation, infection, or swelling. Scars are clean. Could it be a case of persisting nerve damage? The patient never ceases to blame himself for his disfiguration. Could it be a case of guilt of the survivor? Phantom pain manifesting as a punishment of not dying with his comrades. Sorry guys, told you. Big words. And as soon as I stumbled across one, it's just getting worse. Wait, we have actually good. Yeah, that's a good thing to check here. There's still 2 people missing. I know for a fact. Wait, there is a woman locked somewhere, and I can't see her here. Yeah, her. She's not on the... Not on this board. Well, whatever. Right, guys, as this episode is again 55 minutes old, we shall be checking out here. Thank you for watching. I hope you do enjoy these episodes when there's a bit more talking, but we do learn a lot about what's going on in the world. And I, for myself, knew when I was going into this game, there is, you know, a lot of secrets, a lot of decisions to make and everything. And the further on the game goes, I assume we will, at some point, maybe make a decision where we have to kill a character. We will see. We will see. But, as usual, if you enjoyed the episode, leave a like. If you have, like, you know, the feeling that at some point you're like, nah, this guy has to be killed, you can let me know as well. Yeah, have a great day. I'll see you in the next episode, hopefully. Bye-bye.